Good day. Thank you for watching. We are still busy with the first word in the Bible, in the Hebrew Bible, which is written in biblical Hebrew or classical Hebrew. Now that first word, Bereshit, consists of a preposition and then a noun. The be is the preposition and reshit is the noun. Now, in Afrikaans or in English, we will have two different words. You will see it in the translation. We translate it with in the beginning. So it's more or less three different words for this one Hebrew word. But as I tried to explain, it's not in the beginning, but in a beginning. Because there is not a definite article, and I don't want to confuse you. I wanted to enjoy it. So just relax and accept the fact that I will not lie to you. Because I know Hebrew and I teach it also, so I know it's not, it's a mistranslation. They've made a mistake there. Most of the translations make that same mistake, and they also make the same mistake in the Greek of the Gospel of John, where John also starts off with en arche, and then the translators, they translate it with also in the beginning, but it's not so. If you want it to be in the beginning, you will have to write in te arche, then it is in the beginning. So we said, the Bible explains itself, and we were reading from the book of Job, and I also reminded you that it is supposed to be the oldest book of the Bible. And I will read verse 7. Or maybe I should start off with the creation itself so that we can see where the angels fit in. God is asking Job, he said, "Where wast thou when I laid the foundation of the earth? Who have laid the measures thereof, if thou wast know, or who hath stretched the line upon it? Whereupon are the foundations thereof fastened? And who laid the cornerstone thereof?" And then verse 7, "When the morning stars sang together, and all the sons of God shouted for joy." Now, I've got the 26 translations with me. It means there are more than one translation, and where they differ, they indicate it. So I will also read two other translations. "When all the stars of the morning were singing with joy, and the sons of God in chorus were chanting praise. And then another translation, as the morning stars sang together and all the angels shouted for joy. They were on top of an ecstasy when they saw God busy with their creation. The joy that they experienced. Now, when you look at a word in Hebrew, also in Greek, you'll have to realize that it has a lot of facets in it. There's depth in it. And it is reflected in your knowledge of the language. So I hope that you, first of all, understand that in the word Bereshit, we immediately see that there is and was another beginning. And now we've seen it in this book of Job, that the angels shouted with joy and excitement when they saw what God created, because God spoke everything into existence. So it means that when you read the book of Genesis, you will not find a verse that indicates where God is creating angels. And there's a reason for it, and we will also consider that, but I don't want to give you too much information at a time, because one has to ponder on this, ponder on the fact that there was another creation where the angels were created. And Lucifer was the person, the one angel who was in charge of the different angels. He had a very high position. But we will get to that, because I don't want to confuse you or overwhelm you with all the information. So we concentrate on that first word in the Bible and see the many facets of a specific word. And we need to give attention. You will see, I will explain it later to you on another occasion, the different marks. You will see the letters that are written, but then you will see little dots, etc., around the different words on the top and also at the bottom of it. That is all the facets of it which is not translatable. You cannot really translate it. You can speak about it, you can teach about it, and try and explain it. But if you're not a student and you're interested and you study it and understand it, then it becomes a challenge. Because many students, they just fail the first year and sometimes the second year, etc., etc., because it's not so easy. So I don't want to go into the grammar. I just want to give you what I see, the depth, what I see in it. Because we need to understand God, who He is, what He expects from us. Why did He decide to create? Because God doesn't need anything. When we look at the attributes of God, God doesn't need anything. He is the all-sufficient one. So why is it then that He started with a creation? And look at all the suffering. And if we now look around and we see all the different wars and rumors of war, we need to understand God. We need to understand why He is allowing all of this. Because these signs were predicted by Jesus. They on the Mount of Olives, the Olivet discourse, you can call it that, when they asked Him about the end times, and He replied, you shouldn't be upset. Don't let any person upset you, because we need to be like the angels who shouted with joy, because this is all part of what God planned. That's why He could inspire a person like Daniel and John, who wrote the apocalyptic parts of the Bible, looking into the future, telling us what will happen. But we need to be ready for it. We know that. We've been taught through the ages. When Jesus comes back, we need to be ready. And I want to step by step try and explain that for a motivation to be ready. You know, if you want to fly to Cape Town, if I want to do that, I need to do a lot of things. I cannot just say I'm going to fly to Cape Town. I need to do a lot of things to be ready to do that. And I hope that makes sense to you now. I hope you and me will, like the angels, will shout in joy. And I will also spend some time on that specific word now in the book of Job, which we translated that the angels, the sons of God, that they shouted for joy, what they experienced. Because a word is like a diamond. An ordinary diamond has about 57 to 58 facets that is cut into the diamond to be brilliant. And that same sort of phenomenon is in a word. There is many ways to look at it to try and fathom what it really says. That's the reason why I told you there are many translations, because it's not really possible to translate it. But next time we will give some more attention to it. And may the Lord bless you as you listen and also ponder on this issue.